Okay. Praise then the Father for the perfect sanity of his most holy Son. Your Father knoweth that you have need of nothing. In heaven this is so, for what could you need in eternity? In your world you do need things. It is a world of scarcity, in which you find yourself because you are lacking. Yet can you find yourself in such a world? Without the Holy Spirit the answer would be no. Yet because of him the answer is a joyous yes. As mediator between the two worlds, he knows what you have need of and what will not hurt you. Ownership is a dangerous concept if it is left to you. The ego wants to have things for salvation, for possession is its law. Possession for its own sake is the ego's fundamental creed, a basic cornerstone in the churches it builds of itself. And at its altar it demands you lay all of the things it bids you get, leaving you no joy in them. We talked about this a few minutes ago about this false world will give you something only to take it away. And it appears we do have needs, and the Holy Spirit says, fine, I will take care of your needs.
Right.
But I'm going to give you it only for what you need that will not hurt you, and for only as long as you need it.
As you think you need it.
As you think you need it, that's right. As you think you need it.
Right.
Because we really need nothing.
See, what we did too with this, see, if you notice, it says that when it brought in the ego, it brought in the law.
Mm-hmm.
See, what we did is when we established ourself, our world,
mm-hmm.
our reality, so to speak, we set it up on laws. We made a contract with ourselves. We made a contract with death.
Mm-hmm.
That death would be our ultimate salvation.
Mm-hmm.
So that we could come back and try this again until we ultimately succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
See? But the contrast here is that in your reality, there is no need of law because you are co-creator of all that is real, all of reality. So we legalized everything in this concept of self. I told my son last night, I said, do you realize that you have to have a legal contract to be born? Birth certificate? You got to have one to die. This is an agreement. This is not joining. This is a legal agreement with my world versus your world, and I'm going to set it up to my advantage.
Right.
And I'm going to get what you got because what you got, I believe I deserve.
Right.
Under that thought system.
Sure. Obviously it's an insane thought system, but having worked in the law enforcement and legal areas, I've seen attorneys argue these things. In other words, if someone is saying, I'm a citizen of the United States, and they're asking the court to document that, and there's no birth certificate, basically what the other attorney is going to say is, you don't exist. You're standing here, but you don't exist because you have no birth certificate.
It's a legal system, buddy.
Or like you talked about, the death certificate.
Right.
This person is dead. Well, how do you know he's dead?
Right.
Well, he's in a hole in the ground. Well, we're not digging him up, so where's the death certificate?
Right.
If you don't have a death certificate, he's not dead.
And look at the ego thought system is insanity. But it's also genius in its insanity. Because if I can establish a legal system, I can legally constantly place upon you the guilt that you attack heaven and you attack the Father, and I can keep you guilty under this law.
Right.
So it really is the law of an idea of sin and the idea of death.
It always brings back to guilt.
Always.
Everything was built
Right.
It's built in fear to get you back to guilt.
Always to get you back into guilt.
Where did we leave off here?
Let's try 12.
Only the Holy Spirit knows what you need, for he will give you all things that do not block the way to light.
Right.
And what else could you need? In time, he gives you all the things that you need have, and will renew them as long as you have need of them. He will take nothing from you as long as you have any need of it. And yet he knows that everything you need is temporary, and will but last until you step aside from all your needs and realize that all of them have been fulfilled. Therefore he has no investment in the things that he supplies, except to make certain that you will not use them on behalf of lingering in time. He knows that you are not at home there, and he wills no delay to wait upon your joyous homecoming.
See, here's a picture up here we talked about ownership is a dangerous concept. The Holy Spirit is saying, let me show you how I operate here.
Mm-hmm.
I can give you everything you think you need as long as you think you need it, but I have no investment in this.
Right.
It don't mean anything.
Right.
I know it don't
It's
mean
nothing.
anything, but I'm responding to you as you extend yourself into reality. But I have no investment. And the thing about going from the false world to the real world is you'll never leave the false world as long as you're invested in it.
Right.
As long as you see value in it. As long as there's any little thing there that says, well, that's my life.
Mm-hmm.
You can't leave it.
Right.
Because you will protect what you believe is valuable.
Right. In the workbook, the workbook goes through a number of lessons that helps you deal with trying to devalue and recognize that the things you have put your investment in your life and really have no value.
Right.
Leave then your needs to Him. He will supply them with no emphasis at all upon them. What comes to you of Him comes safely, for He will ensure it never can become a dark spot hidden in your mind and kept to hurt you. Under His guidance you will travel light and journey lightly, for His sight is ever on journey's end, which is His goal. God's Son is not a traveler through outer worlds. However holy His perception may become, no world outside Himself holds His inheritance. Within Himself He has no needs, for light needs nothing but to shine in peace, and from itself to let the rays extend in quiet to infinity. Again, back to the light.
I've got a little more insight
Mm-hmm.
on this about the worlds.
Mm-hmm.
It says here, you're not going to find it in these outer worlds. Well, that does mean throughout the universe.
Mm-hmm.
But we just got through talking about how each aspect of mind has established its world. So your world don't hold what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the same world I got. It just looks a little different.
Right.
So that I'll see it as being different and see it as a threat.
Right.
So if you're looking for people to give you answers, they're not going to give you answers because their world don't hold the answer.
Mm-hmm.
You must hear the voice from the real world
Right.
that's calling to you with the answer.
Right. Because it's your world that's being undone, that He'll
It's
undo.
your world that's being undone.